Good morning, everybody. Steve here. 29th of August. Thought I'd come back to the same spot and do the report again from here that I did last week, so you could see the comparison between what the river looked like last week and what it looks like now. You can see on the piling there, it's dropped another 8 inches. And coming down, this is about 1,300 cubic feet. So, gotten some calls about wading the river now. The river's easily wadable at 1,800 cubic feet, and this is below 1,400. So, the gentleman out here this morning fishing. They're definitely in flip-flop mode, and I've talked about that the last couple of weeks, and inserted links into the description of the river report. So if you want more information about that, you can click on those links, and it'll tell you all about the flip-flop. That river is definitely coming down, and temperatures are still much higher than what we like to see during the flip-flop, and that looks like it's going to continue on for at least another week. We're going to have temperatures, air temperatures that is, well into the 90s, upper 90s it's predicting some days. So not a great scenario. The weather has cooperated all year long with us, really, up until this point. I mean, usually in the flip-flop mode, we like to see temperatures going the other way as we head into September and start cooling off. But unfortunately, they're going the other way as the river drops. The reservoirs are drained. Clay elm's showing about 5%, but we don't even know how accurate that is. That's been, the last 3 years. It's drained, to that percentage, and still going to be coming down out of there even more, along with the other 2 reservoirs. The Natchez reservoirs, Rimrock and Bumping, are still holding pretty good amounts of water in them. So the Natchez drainage is going to be doing just fine throughout the flip-flop. Still plenty of adequate water flow there, but what we're going to see is, as the river, comes down and we get those hot days, in the 90s, water temperatures are definitely going to come up. And it's not, people have been asking me how the fishing's been, and it's like, we're in a major drought year, across the entire West, Montana, Idaho, Washington. You're not going to find good fishing just about anywhere you go until it cools off and the water temperatures come down. So the best part of the fishing is going to be, of course, early morning, before it gets super hot. Trout are gonna tend to feed then and take the rest of the day off. So we'll take a look at water temperatures and what they're doing, right now. And I did take some water temperatures in Wilson Creek, and definitely in the high 60s. Of course, we're going to see that. We're going to see those water temperatures increase too as we get more of these hot days. So definitely, if you want to fish the river. So it is the 27th of August here at Wilson Creek. About 500 yards from where it dumps into the Yakima. Here today, it's Wilson Creek's running up 65.9, so about 66 degrees. We've had an overcast day, and we just had a super hot period of weather. well up in the upper 90s, 100 degrees. And of course the river's in flip-flops, so we are watching water temperatures. And of course Wilson Creek, major tributary to the river for off-field irrigation for farmers in the valley here, so definitely increasing water temperatures, 66 degrees. Running with good volume though, good flow, so good air going through there. Advice would be to do so early and get off the river before it's super hot, or you know, stay on the river, enjoy the river, but the fishing's going to be pretty tough. If you are catching fish, make sure to, you know, keep them in the net. Make sure they're well revived before letting them go. And that will help protect the fishery. So let's take a look and see what water temperatures are doing today. Reading about 65.9 here at about 9 o'clock. Which is about what we expected. So probably during the day, definitely going to hit that 70-degree mark, you know, which is not a good, great for bass, but not good for trout. Again, you know, the great thing, you know, about certain parts of the river, you know, keep in mind, like, don't freak out, think that fish are just gonna tumble over and die. They're like anything else, you know. They have a will and a way, you know, and especially the Farmlands area has lots of groundwater infiltration that's cooler, so they'll stack up in those places where there's lots of air and colder water, you know. So they know how to survive in their environment. So it is Labor Day weekend, and Ellensburg is being invaded, of course, by the world famous Ellensburg rodeo. So lots of people around, so, you know, give people space, drive careful, drive like a sane human being, and share the road, share the river. Get there in one piece. We're approaching the month of September, and as the river drops, you can see on the piling there, massive stoneflies hatching, short-winged stones hatching at night. So you just go along the rocks, you'll see edges of the river, you'll see kick over, you'll see all the males. The females will start showing up usually about the first week or 10 days. They'll start showing up and doing their mating ritual, return to the water. Of course, you know, the big thing in September is the stonefly hatch is huge, of course, and it's a massive one, about as big as what our squala hatch is too. But the real exciting fishing in September is the crane fly fishing. So lots of crane fly larvae in the river, and there's going to be lots and lots of crane flies. We've already been seeing them for the past few weeks, so that's really the fun, exciting dry fly fishing in September. And then as we approach the end of the month, of course, October caddis, blue wings will be happening. So lots of aquatic match the hatch fishing on the Yakima and in the fall. And we'll get through this hot period, and it'll cool off, and and everything will be good. But you know, expect if you're going to float the river's going to be super low, and like I've said, you know, it gets more difficult to row the river in the fall than what it does, you know, in the big extreme heavy flows, because more things are exposed. You know, and last year we were floating the river at 400. It could be lower this year because we definitely have less water at this time. They did, like I said, they did a pretty good job of managing the amount of water that they did have. I mean, we were only like 72% of normal, so but you know, there's only so much left, and the river's going to come down. If you look at the graphs, you'll see where it's going to take a slight bump there. That is to move spring Chinook to their spawning grounds. So spring Chinook come into the river. I think there was about 4,000 total. That included the jacks. So not a huge number of fish, but good. It's always going to vary from year to year. But that's to get them to move out of the deep holes where they've been holding all summer, and that'll move them to the spawning grounds. Well, usually about the first week or 10 days into September, they'll start spawning in certain areas of the river. So be careful. You see spawning fish, don't walk over their reds. Give them plenty of space. It's not legal to target salmon in the river above Rosa Dam in the headwaters, so that's their spawning grounds. So don't get caught targeting salmon in the river. Of course, there can be accidental catches of jacks for sure when you're trout fishing, but it's not legal to actually target them. And they've been in the river for, I mean, since May, so you know, it's not like they're going to be fresh to eat. Not like all the fall Chinooks that are pouring into the Columbia system now. Lots, good number. The steelhead numbers are still really good, so if you're excited about that, there's good numbers of both of those fish that are coming over Bonneville Dam right now, even with the warm water. So good news for the tributaries of the Columbia. Again, Labor Day weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Stop by the pro shop. We'll be open. Closed on Sundays, of course, but we'll reopen. And if you need anything, give us a call. Happy to help. Till then, everybody enjoy the holiday, and we'll see you out there.